Hello there, welcome back to From the Ash. Good to have you here for another video in my new spare room / music room. This used to be our study, but I'm not studying anymore. The studying is over. So we thought we'd turn this room into a spare room so that when people come and stay, they've got somewhere nice to sleep rather than just sleeping on a mattress on the floor or on the sofa. This has arrived, I don't know if you can see that. We've got a new bed frame that has just arrived. I'm gonna knock it up and we're going to try and turn this room into something resembling some sort of guest suite. Ready for you, friends and family, to come and stay with us. The fun doesn't stop with the bed here. Just over here, we've also got a piano for you to play if you feel like bashing out a few notes while you're here, or a guitar if you're that way inclined. We've put up a photo of me and Joe on our wedding, and you'll remember if you're an OG From the Ash subscriber, that was the picture that we had done by a street artist in Central Park in New York. So we put that up. I think did a pretty good job. Look at that. That's going on the wall of the flat when we get home.
Oh gosh. I don't want it to go up.
It has to go up. Look at it. He's actually given me like a Buzz Lightyear sort of jaw.
Yeah.
And we've even got a Clavelli Candle Company Ocean Breeze candle on the side as well for a little bit of Devon. Here we go. We've got some important and exciting mail. This is my photos from my graduation, which have just arrived. Big moment. Hey, look at that. St. Mellitus College. And there he is, holding, by the way, that is just a piece of piping from B&Q. Nothing special, but there we go. That is gonna go up on the shelf. In fact, I'll put it there now. The ceremonial moment. We are gonna get some frames for this. This one and this one are the same size, but that one of you from 2015 is a little smaller, so we'll have to get different size frames. If you maybe move that violin, scoot that across. There we go, look at that. I've got to fit everything in. We've got so many degrees in this household, we don't have space to store them all. Look at that. That's quite a moment actually, isn't it? That we're finally both up there with our degrees. I've also got some smaller ones which go in these frames, but I've got a nerve-wracking task to do. There's no, like, you can't just peel them off, if you see what I mean. I actually have to physically cut them. So let's give it a go. Oh, see, that wasn't great. I mean, it's never going to be perfect, is it? But there we go. Done and done. There we go. Coming to a mantelpiece near you. Who will want one? My mum will want one, so she can have that big one, because I think she'll want that. Joe's mum wants my auntie and uncle, and that leaves me with a couple of spares. Thought this was pretty funny as well. Got some cards for my graduation, and as you can see, there obviously wasn't a lot of range on the high street because I've got 3 of the same. Very much appreciated anyway, and equally as appreciated is all the wine. Good morning. It's 6:33 a.m. on a Friday morning, and I'm about to start work. I've just jumped in the car. Normally I get the bus to work, but today I'm jumping in the car because as events manager, sometimes you have to go pick things up and put things places. And this morning my task in my work day is to go to a warehouse on the edge of Oxford and collect 5 crates of fresh satsumas. This particular warehouse does good satsumas, and they're a good healthy option for people on a Sunday morning who come to church who don't want one of our freshly baked cookies that we also provide. We do, you know, we provide good food at all days. So that's what I'm doing this morning. I'm heading to work. I'm gonna go and get some freshly baked oranges, but you don't bake oranges, you grow them, you pick them, you take them to the warehouse, and then I come and collect them, and that's what I'm gonna go do now. After that, we'll go and do something fun, but I thought I would take you out with me this morning on a morning at work. So let's go to work. we are, guys. This is the office. This is where my day job takes place, right here. This is my office at St Aldate's. Still only 20 to 8, so it's nice and early. I'm the first one in. I'm gonna crack on with my day's work now. Not gonna hang around with you guys any longer. I got work to do, so I'll see you after work. The next morning, it's Saturday morning, and that was the start of a park run that I am not doing. I'm walking, Joe's running. We've come to Abingdon for today's park run. Joe does one every Saturday morning, and I normally just walk and listen to a podcast because I prefer doing that rather than running. Saturdays are about relaxing for me, not about running, so I'm podcasting, vlogging, holding Joe's coat, all of the above. It is a beautiful day though. Look at the blue skies. Beautiful sunny day. I feel like the weather is finally turning from winter to spring. Maybe a little bit late this year, but we'll take it. We like the sun. We didn't do anything interesting last night after work in the end. We sat and watched Outer Banks for pretty much the entire evening, and that's not really vlog-worthy content. So I've got the camera out today. We're gonna have some fun in the sun here in Oxfordshire. Joe said to me before she set off that there was a woman who every week wears Cookie Monster tracky bottoms and beats her every week. So Joe's gonna try and beat her this week. So when I go to the finish line in a bit, we got to look for somebody with Cookie Monster trackies, and hopefully Joe finishes ahead of her. That's her target for the day. Park run. Joe finished with a respectable time, probably not her best, but a respectable time nonetheless. But most important of all, pretty sure she beat the lady with the Cookie Monster leggings or joggers on, because I was at the finish line from 20 minutes onwards and she didn't run past me. So anyway, we're gonna pop out this afternoon, do something a little bit fun in Oxford. That's the plan. But for now, we're gonna eat, get changed, get ready. So we'll see you in a little bit. Right, Joe, what have we got here?
Pad thai with chicken and peanut. I put peanuts and chilli on top.
Lovely, and I have got us a strawberry milk flavoured bubble tea. Squeeze the lime everywhere. I think it's about to rain, so we better eat this quick. We are on Gloucester Green, Town Square near Oxford, and there's a food market on, so we thought we'd treat ourselves to a bit of lunch. A bit of pad thai. Nice. What is that you put on the top?
Peanuts.
That one?
That's chilli.
That's very, very spicy.
Yeah.
That's good. It just tastes like it's really raining now, isn't it? It just tastes like a strawberry milkshake. But that's actually quite good. I would order this one again. I think we should go somewhere drier. Come on, let's go. So our trip to the food market got rained off, but we've come to a local museum because that's what you do when it rains, don't you? You go to the nearest museum and you have a potter around for a bit until the rain passes. Well, it's not raining anymore, but we're still going to go in. This is the Oxford University Museum of Natural History, and in here is over 250,000 different exhibits, one of them being the remains of a dodo. It's one of the only places in the world that you can see it, so we're going to try and find that. And apparently, if you go through this museum, you can also get to the Pitt Rivers Museum. Look at that, they've even got dinosaur footprints outside. I'm not entirely certain if they're real, but you never know, they might be. Look at this, Joe. Joe, this is a real bear taxidermy, so it's been stuffed. Always been one of my biggest fears, being faced with one of these for real in the wild. Can you imagine? That is the skull of a whale. Look at the size of. Unbelievable. This is a bit of a gem, this place, isn't it, Joe? Look how grand it is in here. Massive place. What is this here? This is a dinosaur. It's like the one in London. It's the same sort of scale as the one in London, isn't it? The Natural History Museum on Brompton Road, I think it is. This is massive in here. Are you allowed to touch the dinosaur? Oh no. Fragile, please do not touch. It's so close though. It's so tantalizingly close. Can you imagine if we still had to share the earth with something with a tail that long? I mean, I've not even properly looked around yet, but you need to come and have a look in here. So much to look at. It's like a sensory overload when you walk in the door. It's quite busy for a Saturday Saturday, but not too bad. Whoa, Joe, look, this is the dodo. This bird no longer exists and hasn't existed since, it says here, since the 16th century. They were native to Mauritius and now they're extinct. Oh, by the 1700s it was considered extinct. This isn't the actual thing, but they do have, this museum has the only soft tissue remains of a dodo left in the world. So this is the only place where you can still find a bit of a dodo, even if this isn't the real thing. That's quite striking, isn't it? They've got the dodo there that's extinct, and then next to it, a cabinet full of things that are going extinct. So if we're not careful as a human race, Joe, these will all be gone just like the dodo. And then you just spin round, and here you've got the old T-Rex. Look at that femur, so this is from a dinosaur's leg. And you're allowed to touch this one. Interactive, can't beat a bit of interactive at a museum. You're allowed to touch this one. These look like dinosaur skeletons, but I bet they're not. What are they? Oh, there you go, look. That one there's a common pig. That is what a pig looks like underneath all the bacon. Look, Joe, a bison is smaller than a horse. Who knew? That's the African elephant there. And then this Asian elephant is smaller. Interesting. What you need to do, guys, is find this door at the back. And this door at the back leads you through to this. Yeah, and this is the Pitt Rivers Museum, which is attached to a completely different museum. Joe, I want to find the shrunken heads.
What are they?
Human heads.
But how did they shrink?
Here we are, look here. Have you come to see the shrunken heads? Human remains that used to be on this display have been removed. Oh, look at that, they've been removed because people saw them as savage, primitive, or gruesome.
Wow.
No way. What are shrunken heads? They're human heads that have had the skull removed, and then because there's no skull, they sort of shrink inwards, I think. Yeah, honestly. There you go. If you're coming to see the shrunken heads here at the Pitt Rivers Museum, you can't see them. Here we are, look. Old-fashioned stocks. See, some museums would have this available so that you could put people in it for a laugh and for like a photo op, but I don't think this is that sort of museum, is it? This bit of the museum, the Pitt Rivers Museum, is just glass cabinets everywhere with stuff in, almost from like every period of history, from like across the whole world. They've tried to take in the whole world, all of history, or like ancient history, and they just put it all out to look at. It's very, very interesting, but slightly overwhelming. See, this is what I'm talking about. It's all a bit random. Here you've got lamps and lighting, and there's loads of lamps and lighting.
Wow.
And if you go here, you've got pottery from Africa, and there's loads of that. And then if you turn around, you've got animal form in art, and there's loads of those. See what I mean? It's just a bit of everything sort of chucked into glass cabinets. But it's all very interesting. I'm not a museum person. Like, I never really understand a lot of it, so I sort of get lost in it. And I think if there's a museum you're going to get a bit lost in and a bit overwhelmed by, it is one that's, you know, like this. I mean, they've just got so much stuff, haven't they? It's unbelievable. I've never seen a museum like this. Look, they have a puberty section here. Turn around this side. This is the best of all. They've got a section for buttock ornaments from Africa. I mean, if you haven't been to a museum that has a buttock ornaments from Africa section, I haven't. And for that very reason, I commend the Pitt Rivers Museum to you. It's very, very fascinating. Like I already said, it is quite overwhelming. You'll come in here and you just won't know where to look. I mean, look at it. And it's like this everywhere. Every single bit of the museum is just packed full of stuff. There you go, guys. That was the Oxford University Natural History Museum, or Museum of Natural History, can't remember which, and the Pitt Rivers Museum. They're both in one building, and we just did both. We had a very, very brief look around. We were in there for what, an hour probably? We weren't in there for very long. Joe, you're not on camera, but which one was your favourite museum?
Natural history.
Joe preferred the Natural History Museum. I'm inclined to agree. Pitt Rivers was just quite overwhelming, and there was just a lot to look at in there. The Natural History Museum was a little bit more spacious. There was a bit more room to sort of walk around, and I don't know, it just felt to me like a more interesting museum experience. You had the dinosaurs there, which was really cool to see, but I'd probably give Pitt Rivers a 6 out of 10 for me, and the Natural History Museum, I don't know, a 7 or an 8 probably. It was very good, really, really enjoyed it. I think we could have done with longer in there to look around, but if you're in Oxford and you want to look at a museum, you need to try these two out. This and the Ashmolean, they're the three. Anyway, just up the road from the museums that we just went to is this park. I think it's called University Parks. That's what it says on Google anyway. But we're here and we're just having a lovely walk in the sun. It's honestly, it's beautiful. So if you want to take a little post-museum stroll, you know, discuss the exhibits that you looked at, then you can come here and just have a nice walk in the sun. And here we are, look, you come to the end of the park and you get to this lovely body of water, and I think just over there is the River Thames. Honestly, can you believe we live here?
I know, I can't.
It's ridiculous, honestly. Joe and I are always walking around places like this, and walking around Oxford city centre and just saying to each other, like, can you believe we live here? Like, Gloucester was great, it was, we had good times there, but as a place, Oxford is just so beautiful and it ticks so many boxes for us as well. Oh, no way! No way. We were just saying there's a flower has been left on this bench, and you can see why, because look who it's for. In memory of J.R.R. Tolkien. There you go, the author of Lord of the Rings. Of course, Tolkien and C.S. Lewis and some of the other writers from that time period are synonymous with Oxford. A lot of them were professors here. You know, the books they wrote have changed history, really. You've got the Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, you've got the Lord of the Rings books, so all of that, and all those guys are from here. But that was his bench that we just happened upon, so there you go. There you go, there's another one we quite like. Marcus and Sue Dutton, he ran here, she painted here. Joe, if they did one of these for us, it would say, she ran here, he vlogged here, or he sat here and listened to a podcast while she ran here. If Ross Geller taught us anything, it's that you have to respect the sea. And what does the sea connect to? The river. So you have to respect the river too. It's just a country lane, Joe. We just ended up in like a country lane. I do not know how this has happened, but we are definitely not in Oxford anymore. Oh, there you go, there's Magdalen College. We're next to Magdalen College, which is right on the edge of Oxford.
Fine.
But look at this. I mean, you could just be in the countryside right now, couldn't you? This does not look like two people who parked in the city centre and went for a little stroll. This is like when we used to go for our Cotswold hikes, Joe. I mean, look at it, it's like a country lane. So there you go, you can combine, that's why to be honest, that actually sums up really well why we love living here.
Yeah.
Because you've got the countryside and the city life, and they're merged into one. And that is why we love living in this part of the world. We were toying with the idea of going for a drink after this, but we're both pretty tired. So I think we're gonna head home and just chill. So there's not gonna be anything vlog worthy there. So I'm gonna end the video here. Thank you for joining us on a very nice, leisurely day. Doesn't look like we're in Oxford city centre right now, does it? But I promise you we are in University Parks. Highly recommend the museums, recommend the park run, everything that I've done in this video. St Aldate's, we do good oranges there, recommend that as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Don't forget to subscribe. See you soon for another one. Take care, bye bye.